All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody is having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Guys, we got a real ugly Friday. Starting off here with SPY, I'm just going to point out Friday's candlestick pretty much wiped out the last 2 weeks of price action. There's nothing good. I do think we are going to be continuing lower after what we just got on Friday. It was the monthly OPEX. We got a crazy move, 2% down on the NASDAQ, IWM down about 3%, DIA down about 2%, and SPY down 1.7%. We are down here into this next golden pocket, but I'm going to point out we have a pretty ugly weekly candlestick here. And, I don't know if we're just going to bounce right back from it. Nothing we could do about it. It is just, something you got to roll with the punches, and you got to, just kind of go with the flow here with the market. You cannot get mad at the market for doing what it wants to do. The only thing you could do as a trader is go along with it. And what I'm pointing out right now is that we're in the golden pocket. I do think downside is limited. I'm just going to point out VIX just got a breakout from this pennant over here. You started getting buyers over here. I was expecting a bounce over here. I wasn't expecting this. I'll be honest. I definitely was not expecting that. I was expecting this to bounce and then, to crush down here, break this trend line. You broke the upper trend line, and now you have a breakout over here. But I will point out DIA. All right. Last time the daily RSI was right here was on this day right here, and then you fell 2.6% lower. And then you didn't bottom, but you hit the daily RSI bottom, and then you started building out a base. So that would be equivalent to us making a move down here. All right. Fall off a cliff another day. Come down here. Bounce back here. Start building some crap out like this. All right. Maybe you come down here, and maybe then you bounce back in a big way. And it would be a wedge. Yes, indeed, guys. It would be a wedge, just like we had right over here. Doesn't have to be, but that would be picture perfect. So I do think we are going to continue lower from here. I don't think it's going to be much lower. You got things like Amazon. If Amazon falls one more day, you get a really bad day, you're going to have the daily RSI sitting down over here. If you get oversold, that is where you probably have your bottom. All right. If you see the daily RSI oversold over here, you fell one more day, right? You fell one more day, and then you had your bottom, and then you could just ride that thing up. So I'm looking for capitulation. I'm hoping that becomes the case, because I would personally, I got some plays I'm focusing on right now. Amazon is one I'd like to take a decent sized position over here in April calls. If we get that capitulation style 1 to 2 days here to start off the week, and then I think we could rebound from there. And I think it's going to be explosive, but I think it's an easy 100% gain on April calls over here on Amazon specifically, just because of where this daily RSI is. If we get that next capitulation day, easy buy. And then from there, you just need to nail, a $10, $15 move, and you're up 100% on those April calls. I do think, if you move down here, you're going to have a quick move back up here. That's a nice $15 move. You're going to see that happen. It's going to be like, elastic band just getting stretched. Just imagine there's an elastic band that doesn't matter how far you stretch it, it's not going to snap. Okay. That's what Amazon is here. Okay. I know eventually elastic bands like to snap, but when we're talking about them in the stock market here, just pretend they don't snap at all. All right. There you go. But yeah, coming back over here to the indices, I just wanted to start off with that just to point out, like, I do think downside is going to be limited. I think there's opportunity, to focus on. And, guys, I understand the market has been a complete mess for like 2 months now. There has still been clear as day opportunity. I have pointed out where in the market to focus your attention on, because there are specific setups that are going to be doing them, better than others. Most recent one, it's looking beautiful. It's beautiful. I gave you the setup to focus on while the market wants to take a dump. I didn't know the market was going to take a dump, but I did give you, beautiful setup over here. We always got something to focus on. And, if you focus on these things, you're not going to have the worst of times. You just have to be, you got to be positioned. There's always something that is, hotter than others. And there's always going to be, on these corrections, these Magnificent Seven stocks that are going to be juicier than others. Very easy, 100%, opportunities here on dated calls, 2 to 3 month out calls. You can identify these opportunities, and if you're sitting in some red here, as long as you're controlling your sizing, you're not sitting there going all in. You're not really just risking things for the biscuit because you want to make a lot of quick money. Let's be completely real, guys. Most of us are not making more than 10 grand a month at work. Can we all acknowledge that? Can we acknowledge that work does not bring in over $10,000 a month for the average individual? Even, if you're in the upper end of there, you're still probably not going to be bringing in that. A lot of us are, but there's also the vast majority that don't. So guys, if you hit a 10K trade, there you go. Do not blow yourself up. If you have a 100K account, don't sit there taking on, all these $30,000 to $50,000 trades. You don't need to do that. You can wait for these opportunities. You can trade normally with normal position size. Maybe you have a 5K position size per position. That sounds about right to me. If you have like a 100K account, maybe you're putting on a 5K position size like that, and you're not in too many things. But even if you have 10 freaking positions and you have a basket of stocks at that point with all dated calls, you're just kind of waiting on to pay you all at once, you're still never getting all all in like that. And then when you see things like Amazon over here, when you see that, you can take a big swing. You see the daily RSI sitting down here, guys. Every time you bend down here, you could have bought on all of these you could have put on 5-6 month out calls, and you have a nice easy pay date there. Okay, and then you get that swing, you get to sell everything there, and then you have this big fat Amazon payday. That's how I think, and that's how I think most people are gonna be winners in this game. And that's really the approach that I like to take. I think that's the approach that's going to work best for most people swing trading. So I'll be an advocate for that on my channel. Come back over here to SPY, guys. On the downside, you're right here into the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement, all right, from this most recent, rally back up here after this first initial, correction from fresh all-time highs. And then you rally back up to new all-time highs, and then you fell off a cliff on Friday, okay? We're right down here at the golden pocket, right around 599.70 support. Underneath there, we're just going to watch 595.40, break underneath 595.40. You're coming down to 590.49. From that point, guys, you're going to have the whole move. And if you can't hold this next golden pocket right here, break 595, expect price to come down here and test the whole this golden pocket from the whole move up here. Okay. Expect you to come down here to 590. 590.49. Expect to undercut that, hit this next 0.618 fib. Probably find buyers right here, at least for a dead cat bounce, go like that. That's your bearish scenario. Bullish scenario is this. All right. And you have a larger bounce here, but there's going to be daily short-term moving averages. After all this plays out here, they're probably going to be sitting around here. So bearish scenario, you come back to retest them and you continue lower after that. Either way, we're looking for a bounce in here. And this is where I say, like that Amazon trade I just spoke about, that's where this comes into play here. Hey guys, so I'm just jumping in here. I don't know exactly where I'm going to slap this in the video, but I just thought I'd show you guys this as well. This is the NASDAQ McClellan oscillator. I'm sorry you can't see the full chart here. But as you can see, it's coming down into that, that oversold spot where it typically is going to start snapping back from. If we are just going to, take a thing right here, we can draw a line from, we'll just say here. Oh, come on, buddy. All right, right over there. This whole line you got going on here, I know it's a little crooked. I understand. We'll try and make it as straight as possible there. You get another you get those capitulation days, the Monday or Tuesday capitulating, you get more sells. You're going to be between here and here, and that's where you snap back from, okay? It's going to be either, you can clear as this it. It's here and here. This last 2 years of data here, and if you are to, we'll just save that right there. I didn't mean to do that. But this is the last year, but you come over here to 2 years and you could see it's the same exact thing. So take this over here. Okay. This is your lower thing right there. This is the upper one right here. If you come down into this area, you're probably going to get bought up. I know you can't see it right there. All right. You come down into this area, you're probably going to see the oversold conditions get bought up there. People are going to buy the fear. Big money's going to buy the fear. And then that will be that. All right. There. Back to your video. Now, I did also highlight McDonald's. I made it the title and the thumbnail. in my last video on Thursday. And, you know, McDonald's is going to treat us right, guys. You know, I plan on just, hey, you're doing exactly what I just talked about, all right? Put on the big Amazon position. I'm going to take profits on McDick's over here, McDonald's. As this thing rallies over here, I got something that's paying me that I'm going to be taking profits on, and I'm probably gonna buy more. Like, if I see it, perfect timing, all right? Guys, you just cash out of some things and you put the money into where it makes perfect sense. Like, that's what I was talking about, the positioning, all right? Amazon, you see this thing sitting down here. You have other things that are running. If something that is at 100%, take it off and put it into the free money opportunity, and there you go. That's how you grow the money. That's my approach. I really do think it's the best approach if you're a swing trader, and it's something that you can do if you have a job, which I know pretty much everybody watches this channel, except maybe, like, we're going to say 1% of you guys, you got jobs. So you're going to focus on that, okay? If you want to focus on day trading, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be much harder. You could easily develop the skill set of swing trading instead of day trading. Day trading is going to require a lot of time, a lot of effort. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, swing trading is something where you can pick up the skill set over time without killing yourself, okay? Without just mentally, you know, having to sit there staring at a screen every single morning. You know, if you're working, you probably can't do that. So it's going to be stressful. You're trying to do it off the phone. There's no reason to do that. All right. Enough talking about Amazon, as you say. I like McDick's. I like Amazon right now. I like, you know, Tesla. I don't think it's going much lower than it is right now. I like a few things more than others. But over there on SPY, those are your downside scenarios. On the upside, as resistance, what are we watching? We have 602.13, 605.36, 608.38, 610.78, and 613.23. You got a weekly bearish engulfing candlestick. Not the best look over here. I'm at least expecting a little dead cat, you know, bounce over here. I don't know if it's going to, you know, get sold or not. I don't know, but I can tell you this is a pretty ugly day right here off pretty heavy volume. Definitely got some sells in there, and it's probably going lower, okay? If you gap up over here, expect sellers over here around 608.38. That's going to be around the daily 9 here, all right? And what is it also going to be around? Say it with me, golden pocket right there. Picture perfect. That is, you know, if you just gap up and we have, you know, a plus 1.5% day tomorrow, and it's right here, and then you just start seeing it go flat for the next 2 days, hey, you got to be cautious there. Maybe you start falling flat on your face. I got no idea. But I'll tell you right now, if we get this scenario, I think it's very easy to take advantage of this. I've just pointed out the biggest one, Amazon. Like, I'm serious. If you already think you're buying the bottom and now you put 2 to 3 months on your contracts and you know you only need a $10, $15 move to get the 100% gain, if you see it sitting here, who cares if it goes a little low down here? You have enough time where you're pretty much guaranteed going to catch this move, but you're probably also going to be catching this $15, $20 bounce back to the short-term moving averages. It's going to be nice. All right, it's going to be nice. Come back over here. We're now on QQQ. Same bearish engulfing candlestick here on the weekly time frame. I would like to say just retesting this trend line, but as you could see, you did not even respect that or the short-term moving averages. You closed underneath them. That is something to note. You're right on 525.97 support. Underneath there, you have 522.19. That's at the 0.618 fib. And then you are going to have 517.40 under there. If you break 517.40, you're watching 511.05 and then 503.28. I'm not saying you're getting down this week. That is just, you know, that's the chain of command on the downside right there, okay? You break one of those things, you report to the next guy. Break that guy, rip it in half, you go report to the next guy. And you go fight that guy. Level price action right there. That's how I see it. Upside, 528.15 is resistance, 531.24, 533.82. All right, and then we're just watching 540.81. IWM, pretty darn stankin' ugly. Gosh darn it. What are you doing, buddy? I'd say a kind of head and shoulders kind of look to you. Oh my gosh. You would have thought, oh, break out the new highs, really pull back there. Probably going to get bought up. And you're thinking, oh, this is just all bullish consolidation. No, then it finally starts to break down. This thing is also telling me, hey, if you get another few capitulation days, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. Like, this thing is probably going to, you know, undercut this 213.97 low. You're going to come down over here by 210. Probably going to bottom out around there and then get a sick, nasty bounce back up here to 220.67. I could see it. All right, so that's IWM. Your resistance 226.7, 226.64, and 230.55. Support is 217.37, 213.97, and then you're probably going to bottom out between 207 and 210. This is, we just continue lower. There you go. DIA, I already went over that earlier. I could see something like this being put in here, and then we have another reversal here. You just got this range. In the meantime, play the range, come to the bottom of the range, probably going to find buyers, look for buys down here, and then look to take profits. Well, now I know you didn't respect this golden pocket right here. You went above it, almost went to new all-time highs. But now respect the golden pocket. Easy trade is buy at support, sell at golden pocket. Just like over here, you would have sold right here on this candle. VIX, I already pointed out, you broke out of this pennant. We can have more volatility entering the picture here. I wasn't expecting it, but I am here to take advantage of it. And yeah, that's kind of how I see things. That's how I see trading in the market, guys. You got to take advantage of the things. People can come in my comment section and call me stupid for my opinions. But in reality, guys, I've been trading this market for years now, and I will continue to take advantage of it. That's all you could do as a trader. Anybody who sees it differently is genuinely stupid. All right. I'm not going to say stupid. They're genuinely ignorant with experience, or they are just they're being ignorant that they don't know, that they're noobs. All right. It's one or the other, because if you have been trading the market like me for quite some time now, then you know that it's just how it works, and you can't control things. And the only job you have as a trader is to adapt and to take advantage of what the market has presented. Right now, guys, the market has been doing a whole lot of nothing. So if you manage to make money during this period, you have more money to go into the next, next expansion period. I figured there was going to be starting over here, but as you can see, we're falling flat on our face. Nothing I could do about it. But at some point, guys, this really has been in the same exact price range. We've been right here. Technically, over here, you dip down into that. Since this gap up, we have been in the same exact price range. It's been over 100 days. It's going to break at some point. Don't think it's not going to break. It was the same way over here. All right. 70 days, you were stuck at this price. Over here, not so long. All right. 50 days. Over here, you want to see something? 120 days. What happens? All right. And this was considered a big correction. Okay, what we got going on right now, and people all thought this was distribution. All right, right over here, distribution was the top. All right, this thing right over here, it wasn't. It set up for a big NASDAQ rip. Everybody thought this was selling. Everybody thought this was distribution. Well, people are gonna be saying the same crap about this. I'm not gonna change my stance on this. I'm gonna continue doing what I just described. You take advantage of the setups that are actually presenting, the setups that are moving themselves in here. You're not going to win them all. All right. I will tell you right now, I don't win them all. You're not going to win them all. None of them are good. None of us are going to win them all. Sometimes you're going to screw up, and then you're going to get back on the horse, and you're going to do what you got to do. All right. Me, myself personally. All right. I had a big screw up not too long ago. Minus $55,000 a day. And now my mentality is, I'm just going to play things safe for a little while until I get ready. I'm not putting on another massive position size. I was sizing up. I had a hot December. I got a little antsy there, and I started taking some bigger position sizes. Just went against what I've pretty much been doing for a very long time. We had a really nice ride, but then I got hit with that out of nowhere, and I was like, all right, that's why I usually control the position size. All right. So we're gonna make it up safely, and then next time we see that really clean opportunity, we're gonna pounce. I just pointed out what that opportunity was. One of the big boys really setting up. All right. I pointed out two setups in near recent past 2 months that I pounded the table on. First one was NVDA. All right. It was over here. NVDA right over here. Second one was NVDA right here. Well, it's technically this whole thing. I pounded it here. I pounded it here. These are the clear as day money-making opportunities, all right? Now, I'm telling you right now, it's Amazon, all right? It's Amazon. If this thing falls another day, this is what you buy. This is what you're buying April calls. This is what you're buying April to May calls. All right? Pick your expiration. This thing, within probably 1 week, is going to start bouncing back, and you're going to start having a good time. but you got to position yourself to take advantage of it. I don't give financial advice on this channel, but I'll gladly talk about what I'm doing to take advantage of the market. I think it's gonna help other people make money. There's that. All right. In the video over here, guys, everything's pretty ugly. Just keep that in mind as I talk about these things. Everything is pretty darn stinking ugly. There's really no exceptions here. You rejected 141.90 resistance. I told you to expect sellers into there. You're in the golden pocket. All right. But now you do have this clear as day trend line. I will point out you could be pulling back for the right shoulder here. If you find buyers in the 127.67 and 131.26 zone down here, should be demand. If you find buyers in there, look for them to take you back up the trend line, and then look for them to break you out of this trend line. If you can, you have a inverse head and shoulders bottom breakout over here. Okay, so that's the video. On the downside, you're watching 131.26 and then 127.67, and then you want to see buyers step in there. You don't want them to lose. If you can't hold there, you're just going to be watching the next golden pocket, which is all the way down here, 119 to 124. Tesla over here, guys, daily RSI is still like down here in the crapper. So if you undercut this low over here at 326.59, you undercut that support. All right, you have the big golden pocket here from the whole move up here. This whole move up, you didn't hit it over here. I thought you were going to hit it. Now I'm pretty positive you're about to hit it. You're probably going to have a quick snapback, something like this. April calls, guys. I was an advocate over here on this dip. I was telling you about on these 2 days right here. I'm sorry. I did think 384.29 was going to be hit. I definitely did. You did not. I thought you were consolidating here and you were going to break up from it, and then you had Friday. It's okay. I do think April calls, they're going to do perfectly. I think March calls are going to do perfectly fine. I think you're going to get this spike here. All right, but you're going to have to sit through this pain over here if you're sitting them. But if you want to take advantage of them anywhere between 299.29 and 320, that is where I think this next little leg lower is going to bottom out here, and then we're going to bounce back to 358.64. I'm thinking that's going to be a key level. You see this resistance right around here. That's what I'm going to be looking for. All right. Goog. You're down here in the golden pocket. Daily RSI, it's almost down to oversold territory. This is what I'm saying. If you get 1 to 2 more capitulation days, don't look for anything more after that. Look for the rebound. You're playing that rebound, and then you can take a chill pill, and then you can go flat, you can go all cash, and then you could sit on your hands and just wait to see what happens, because you're going to have the reversion to the mean trade that's going to happen. And then maybe you get that, or maybe you consolidate there and then continue lower. You don't know. So this specifically, if you get this opportunity, this is what you could trade right here safely, and you take the profits on that, or you get back to break even, whatever you want to freaking do. You do that, and then you could be in a safe spot there, and you could just sit and wait to see what the market wants to do. I think the market's going to be, with how things are set up, I think it's not going to have much more downside. We're going to have a quick snapback. Microsoft. All right. Because again, guys, the market hasn't freaking moved anywhere. It hasn't moved anywhere. I don't know, how else to say this. People think this is crazy. All right. This is crazy bearish or crazy bullish. I think it's just, the market hasn't moved anywhere. It's in a range. Eventually, it's going to freaking snap. It's looking like it wants to go up. Weekly chart has bullish structure. There's no really denying it. I know you got this thing now. I understand that. It wasn't looking like this before. I kind of did a number on this chart over here. But I still don't think this looks crazy terrible. People were saying distribution. I don't think this points to, the market's going to start falling from here. I don't think you're going to have a range. This whole range, I don't think it's going to break to the downside. That would just be insane. That's a fall from here. Okay. Is the $35 lower than that? You think you're coming all the way down here to 540? That's 615 right here. 54. That was a big decline. You really think you're getting down there? I don't think so. All right. Come over here. Meta over here, guys. Not going to say it's pretty over here, but as you could see, you start pulling back. You could pull back decently, or you could just consolidate here. We'll see what we get literally next week. If it's a green, bar right over here, probably just going to consolidate here. You probably have the low of this range here. You're probably going to consolidate. If you continue lower, look for you to go a little bit lower and then base out, take a few weeks there and then, continue up. You're pulling back into the short-term moving average. So I have to imagine you're probably going to either do what I just said, get the green bar, and then you continue higher like that, or you're just going to continue like this, come down, retest the short-term moving averages. You couldn't test the 21 here or here. You did right over here, mark your bottom. But you've been getting buyers there for quite some time. You got it here, you got it here, here. They stepped up around here, you didn't test it. They stepped up around here, you didn't test it. But maybe we test it here, and then maybe we go higher after that. I mean, again, like, this isn't something to sell. These are all bullish charts we're looking at. Everything's in this weekly uptrend. Not everything. All right, I told you, Microsoft. I mean, SPY and QQ, it's been, you know, just consolidating, but it's still in the weekly uptrend. Microsoft, it's going flat, but every other ticker in the weekly uptrend. I don't know what to tell you about it. Apple over here, guys, 247.33. That was the level we said. Get a daily close above it. I think we're starting to move up to 260.10. You did not get the daily close. You actually put in a shooting star candlestick over here. And on the week, you do have this doji candlestick. I'm not sure if it amounts to a pullback or not. I'm really not sure. If it does, though, you're watching right here at 240.79. That's going to be around the short-term moving average over here on the daily time frame. So you can get some action like that. All right. And if it just wants to continue higher, get another day of pullback with the market and then continue higher after that. If the market decides to sell, have a capitulation day tomorrow, and you don't see Apple down big, that's relative strength. I think this thing is probably going to continue going with how this is setting up here. Doesn't look bad. All right. It's off the monthly 9. Like, these short-term moving average, guy, on the different time frames, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. It's all you really need to swing trade on all these stocks. You don't, I mean, support and resistance is great, but you really can identify stocks that are trending higher and just buy in on test of short-term moving averages on the daily or weekly time frames. It is something that consistently works across the board. Doesn't have to be the stocks I cover. It is something it's a concept that works. SMH. Oh boy, you were in the golden pocket. You started selling off here. Honestly, guys, I'm not really sure. Again, we're just gonna have to see what happens. But with how everything else is right now, like with what I told you about Amazon, I don't think you're going to fall much lower here. Expect buyers over here in the next golden pocket. That's going to be down here at 242.89. But, you know, you're right here in this trend line. You know, this doesn't look like it's going to immediately get bought up to me. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to. So, I don't know. I'll act accordingly. I'll get ready accordingly. I think the market's going to probably have 1 or 2 more capitulation days. And I'm so looking to take advantage of it. If it doesn't have that, I'm going to be sad. I will. Okay. You know, my ideal scenario here, I want to see everything else die. I want to see McDick's rally. And I want to buy more Amazon, and then I want to sell McDick's, and I'm either going to position into more McDick's calls with that money, or I'm probably just going to buy more Amazon calls and just really just have that as the only like heaviest position here going on. That's how I'm seeing it. All right. Other than that, I'm just going to wait on my Tesla to come back, and that's the game plan here. I really do think this is the chart right now. That's going to be making the most amount of people money here. So that's what I'm going to hammer on the table. That's the one I'm going to be focusing on this week. And I'm planning on just taking the heaviest position over here on Amazon on this decline. I always point out something that's going to be, you know, recovering the most. I think it's going to be Amazon. I'm ready for it. I have to go over here, guys. If SMH does decide to come a little bit lower, because again, it's not looking too hot, Avgo is probably going to come over here to 211.11. Daily RSI, guys, if it gets down here, I'm going to put an alert right here. All right. If it gets hit, then downside is very limited there. We're probably going to, you know, bottom out between 205 and 211.11. That's what I'm watching over here on Avgo. And then we're looking for a move back up to 226.80. That's another thing that, you know, that's looking nice. I still do want to focus on Amazon, but that's another thing. Like, you know, April calls, they look really safe to me. If you know, buy, this is literally a spot on the daily RSI, just like in the video over there, that every time you've hit for like 2 years now. Okay. Very long time. Start just getting your buyers in within like one trading session. That's something I think is probably not going to be going away. You know, that's like 2 years right there. Probably going to keep happening. Combine that with the bullish weekly chart right around the weekly 21. Guys, that's free money. I'm not saying it's free money, but hey, I give it the same probability I give that Amazon trade. I think this is another big winner. You catch a $15 move over here with April calls, you also got your 100% gain. This and Amazon. I really like it. ARM, okay, you're retesting this trend line. So watch this. Watch around 142.32 for, you know, price to undercut here. Probably come down to 140, that psych level. You probably start getting buyers stepping in around there. You got the golden pocket right around here. So in between 136 and 142.32. Expect buyers to step back in. I'm looking for a retest of over here, 155-ish. SMCI, I'm looking for a pullback into 50.61. I will point out, though, weekly candle is a nice shooting star. So I don't know if you hold there. You could come back and retest all the way down here at 42.88, where you consolidated for a few days and retest that area. That's going to be around the daily 21. Retesting 50.61 would be the daily 9. And then you just got to wait for this trend line, guys. I don't know if it's going to break. You don't know if it's going to break. So don't expect it to break until it breaks. See a daily close above there. All right. See a second daily close above there. It's probably not going to be a false breakout. But I gave my thoughts on Thursday's video on this. I would not be chasing this thing, and I don't feel bad if anybody misses out on it, because at the end of the day, most people are going to be chasing these juiced up premiums, and they're not going to make money on this move because they're juiced up premiums. You make a little money on the moves up, and then the options crush when it goes sideways or pulls back. Not worth trading, in my personal opinion. So there's that. AMD. Nope, coming down for a new low. That's about it. All right, that's AMD. MU, guys, coming down towards the bottom of the range, 85 to 90 bucks. Expected to be hit. You know, you've been ping-ponging for quite some time. That's kind of what I'm going to be expecting over here on MU. TSM, now this is one that's pretty tricky because I don't think you're gonna lose where you are right here. You've been getting bought up at the 21 EMA on a weekly time frame for quite some time here. It's been over a year. Since this started up over here, and I think it's probably going to continue. If you get under for 2 weeks over here, just like you did over here, I think you're just going to recover and get bought back up. Like, I don't think you're going to continue down here. You know, I think it's just another dip to buy over here. Buyers have continuously bought these dips. I don't think they're going to change the mind right now. Just don't. And keep in mind, buyers have been buying the dips for the last 2 months without new all-time highs, and now over here, SPY and QQ have now made new all-time highs. All right, QQ here, every dip has been bought. All these black swan events have been bought without new all-time highs. Buyers did not know they were going to be right. And now we have new all-time highs. So buyers have more incentive to buy. All right, they now know, yeah, okay, it's confirming that, yeah, I was buying for new all-time highs. Yeah, that's what just happened. So why are they not going to step in over here? They're probably going to step in over here. And something that's standing out to me is this trend line. Coming to this trend line right around 522.19. All right, come down, test that over there on Monday. Maybe find buyers in there. We'll see. All right, we will see. We will see. Now, guys, Henry's trade ideas going into next week. All right. I know I talked about it too much this video. I know you're sick of it. You're like, Henry, shut the heck up. Shut up. I don't want to hear about no Amazon no more. Well, here you go. Here's Amazon one more time. Last time I mentioned it. Daily RSI about to be oversold between 205 and 210. I think you're probably going to be bottoming out. If you retest 201, that's literally going to be the last major breakout level. That's where you broke out to new all-time highs here. You consolidated for months. Months and months and months. All right, 2/3 of a year you consolidated, then you broke out. Big strong level here if you come into it. You're on the weekly 21 EMA right now as we speak. That is where buyers, you know, we have just seen, that's where they like to start stepping back in. That's where, you know, sellers over here retesting it. That's your short-term moving average. Okay? Probably going to be respected. Don't expect you to spend too much time underneath it when you're in an uptrend. That's that. Where buyers step in. Bob over here, guys, it's continuing to be strong. You got the breakout over 125.84 this week, and now you got the break above 138.70. I think this thing could be heading up to that 161.14 gap, though. It's not something I would be chasing calls on unless you're trading weak, because you're really not going to be making too much money on these moves. But I will point it out. HIMS, I'm watching on this pullback over here, 35.02, but more specifically, I think around the weekly 9 EMA over here, around 40 bucks. All right, if it comes down to 40 bucks, I think you're probably around the bottom over here for this move down on HIMS. Then maybe you consolidate for a little bit, and then eventually you run back up. I don't think this run is over for HIMS. We're about to see earnings on Monday after the bell. I Don't know how those are going to come in, but maybe we see some more volatile moves over here out of HIMS. Either way, if earnings doesn't bring you right back up, I'm looking to buy the dip around 35 to 40 bucks over here on HIMS. Carvana. Daily RSI coming down to oversold territory as price comes down into the golden pocket. I'm not saying you're just going to bounce back like you did over here. It was a pretty V-shaped recovery, but it's probably going to be how that goes. And then Carvana's probably going to continue getting bought up. It's been getting bought up anytime it's gotten near oversold territory or into oversold territory for quite some time since it bottomed out over here. I don't think that's just going to stop. I think you're going to continue getting bought up. Premiums are getting crushed over here. And I do think that, yeah, we could see some moves out of Carvana. But I will definitely say Trump is doing his thing about the 25% car tariff. So that is probably influencing this, what is this, 23% drop in 2 trading sessions. 3 trading sessions. So pretty fucking insane. Pardon my French. Walmart. This is also a dip I'm interested in buying. You're coming into, over here you can see on the weekly time frame, into the weekly 21 EMA. You haven't tested the weekly 21 EMA in over a year. Now you're coming into it. You hit this. I'm not exactly sure what that 104. Oh, I know what the 104 target was. It was for the breakout over here. It was the measure move. Guys, these measure moves are insanely accurate. I just want to let you guys know that. All right. So it was for this over here. I was looking for, yeah, a test, I guess, of 104.25. You sold off right after that. I'm proud of that. Honestly, you know, I'm not even proud of it. I just love seeing it because I cover so many tickers. People ask the ticker requests and stuff in the Discord. I cover so many charts and just analyze them that I love going back to them and seeing, holy crap, you know, this thing kind of played out picture perfect. And then he sold off and it's picture perfect. Now, guys, you're pulling back into where you consolidated from. You're probably going to be finding buyers. You also have the weekly moving averages right here. You're probably going to find buyers. See the daily RSI get oversold. That is where you're going to find buyers in the short term stepping in. I don't think it's going to be like something like this where it falls off an absolute cliff. That's 26% down. I don't think that's what we got over here. But I could be wrong. But yeah, Walmart's something I'm watching on this dip. But again, guys, I told you guys I wouldn't talk about it anymore. But Amazon, that's really the main focus on this dip. XYZ, for me at least, doesn't have to be for you, but for me. Over here, XYZ, daily RSI, the last 2 times, actually the only 2 times you've ever hit it in history, this is where you found your bounces from, and they were pretty vicious bounces, I will say so myself. Over here from the bottom here, within 3 trading sessions, you bounced 26% back. That could be something worth taking on some risk for. I'll just say that. Over here is a little different, where you would have had to buy time if you were buying just off the daily RSI again down there. But then you based around. Now, this is the scenario right here that I'm going to take advantage of if I see it. I'm not going to just buy this fallen knife. But if I see price base out like this and then have a day of launch and above that base, then I think a trending move could start up. And I'm planning on playing that. So that's what I'm putting on your radar. Whether you want to buy the fallen knife or you want to follow me and just, you know, wait for the base to form and wait for buyers to start stepping in, I think this is a setup that could pay. I think that eventually this, you know, starts trending back up, but we're going to have to give it some time. LRCX is something that had a base and you just start breaking out from that base. I know you had a pretty ugly week of candlestick here, but it's important. You're finally starting to ascend here out of this. You got the week close underneath here. So I'm planning on either buying it over here. You know, I already took profits on this move. You know, I think it was 70 to 80%. I took profits over here, guys. And now we're getting the retest of where I was, you know, I was playing the breakout over here. We're getting the retest of that into the short-term moving average over here on the daily time frame. On the weekly, though, if you pull back into 79.60, that's where, you know, it looks really, really appealing to me. All right. That's where you've been, you know, you had sellers, sellers, sellers. You broke out, retested over here. You have the short-term weekly moving average right here. You got 79.60 support, big strong level you flipped over there. You're probably going to get a bullish reaction back up here to 86.32. That's the thing that will pay, you know, another 70 to 100% on March or April calls. So I'm going to be looking at that, probably April calls on there. But yeah, base breakout over here. This is the retest of that base. KO and McDick's, these are the things, McDonald's. KO and MCD, these are the tickers that I think are just going to be continuing up to new all-time highs as the market decides to puke. So these are the safety trades for myself that I, am picking over here. KO, honestly, in hindsight, I wish I just kind of, longed the setup I've been calling out for a while over here. On the downside, you had been, doing this thing. And yeah, it looks pretty, in hindsight, this looks very obvious, but I'm never comfortable fucking putting on, size. Pardon my French. I don't know why. I can stop swearing. Bad habit. Doesn't make you sound smart. Definitely does not. But I'm not comfortable trading these things that don't move with the market because they don't move. Like the market was doing things during this time. KO just wasn't doing anything. But at the end of the day, I do analyze the charts and identify the spots where momentum starts picking on, and that's kind of a big part of what I do. And I identified that over here on KO. I just didn't pull the trigger. So it is what it is. But I pulled the trigger over here. And I'm riding this bad boy up to new all-time high. 73.53 I do think is incoming. Probably this next week. But we will see. Probably over the next 2 weeks, we'll be at new all-time highs over here in KO. MCD, guys, star of my show. And maybe the star of your show. And then Amazon next week is the star of the show. But specifically this setup I was waiting patiently on. I put it on your radar over here on earnings. You could have taken it off of earnings, the gap up over here. Regardless, I didn't. I was patiently waiting for this move. I told you guys we're going to get this pullback. We're going to see a base over the next 1 to 2 weeks. And I'm looking to play either the pullback, buying, near the bottom of that range that it creates, or the base breakout. I'm choosing to buy the bottom of where I think that range is going to be. And then I'm playing for the move up to the top. By that time, I'm going to be up well over 100%. And then we're going to be, cooking. We're going to be up probably almost 200%, depending on what contracts we're talking about over here, and then ride it up to new all-time highs with the April expiration. That is the game plan over here on McDick's, and I do think we're probably about to see that next impulsive move up over here with how this just closed out. So you closed out with a nice weekly hammer candlestick. Just notice when you're moving up here, you have these little pullback weeks. As long as they're getting bought up, which this one's proven to be bought up, yeah, it likes to just continue higher in the short term. So I do think that's probably going to be the case over here. I think we just had a little pit stop before we head straight to all-time highs over the coming 1 to 2 weeks. So that's McDick's over here. McDonald's, MCD. Next one is Roku. Pulling back over here into the weekly short-term moving averages as well as where you just broke out from. And then daily RSI, I will just point out, is coming back into where you were consolidating for a while. And then price, specifically here on the daily time frame, this is the bread and butter of this setup I'm identifying here for you guys. You had a big consolidation period here after you broke up. All right, so just follow the yellow brick road. You had all this crap. You broke above all the crap. All right, all this, you broke above it. And keep in mind, you had all this crap, you broke above, you retested it, and then you advanced. Like you just built out the base, you advanced, you built out a base, you advanced. Well, now you're retesting that previous base, just like you were pulling back into over here. Well, now you're pulling back into here, and you have your daily short-term moving averages here. You have confluence going on here. You're probably going to get buyers stepping in here. You also can draw the golden pocket from this most recent move up there. That starts right there. If we're talking the whole move, then we're talking you come a little bit lower. Okay, regardless, you got the confluence right around here over at 86.75. So I do think this is a dip that's going to be bought. You had the big volume on the move up here. And then as you see, it's just waning over here. So I do think this is a move that's probably going to get bought up over here, this dip, back up to 99.80. All right, sold off for resistance right there. And then on the weekly time frame, you could see big base in the making here. We're going to be paying attention to Roku. I put it back on the radar when I started seeing it move back up over here. But really, massive base in the making. You have a nice double bottom pattern right over here. And the measure move from that's $55. So I'm not saying it happens all at once, but I do think Roku can be a runner over the next year. So it's something I will keep on my radar. Cost, all right? Just like McDonald's over there in KO, there were things that did good when the market decided to absolutely puke on Friday, and cost is one of them. Cost is one that I was saying between 1,035 and 1,007. I was saying in the last video Thursday's video. I think it was Thursday, if not the video before that. I think it was Thursday's though. I'm looking for buyers to step in over here. This is something that we just had this big move up. We didn't hit the measure move for the whole move up, which is 1,100 over here. We're pulling back into the short-term moving average over here on the daily. And then on the weekly, if we were to pull back 1,007 over here, 1,780, that was the most recent breakout level. And if we pull back into that, you have the weekly 9s in there as well. So, you know, win-win. Either it was going to be the daily short-term moving averages, or we're talking the weekly. That's that concept I was talking about, that on every ticker, it's going to apply. If you're in a trending market specifically that ticker, that's what I mean. If that specific market, that ticker is in a bull market, all right, a trending move to the upside, you can buy the pullbacks to the short-term moving averages, okay? Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you have the bigger corrections. In the bigger corrections, well, you correct to the weekly moving averages. It's beautiful. I love how everything comes together when you're swing trading. All right. I'm looking for upside over here on cost. I think the bottom is in for that little mini move down. PEP, this was actually a ticker request this week, and this is beautiful. I was not having this on my radar, but I'll tell you right now, this thing looks phenomenal. And the level to really pay attention to over here is going to be the double bottom neckline at 155.47. Break above 155.47. You probably will get the measured move to that. We'll just say $10, $10, guys. We're saying you're probably coming up to 166.46 resistance up there. Actually, I'll just put on a different level right there, 165.13. Break above 155.47. You probably start a move up to 165.13. You've been in the crapper over here. Notice how the competitor KO, Coca-Cola, has been in full recovery mode after it is dipped. Well, right now, PEP is kind of right here before this full recovery. So I do think that it's probably something that's going to be underway. That is something. You also had CELH over here, another drink company, starting their recovery. So, you know, PEP over here, I do like the potential above 155.47. Pullbacks into 146.90 are buying opportunities. You're going to have the daily short-term moving averages over here, and you'll have the retest of that trend line you just broke out from. With that being said, guys, if you would like to trade with me, the link will be down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really do hope you guys are not, you know, making, crazy moves in this market, guys. Just like I was saying earlier, if you are managing your money well in this market, if you're making any money in this market, and then the market decides to actually start the trending move and you have more money to take advantage of that, that is a win in my personal opinion. You don't have to be absolutely killing in this market, but if you are managing to kill at this market, hey, all right, where's my freaking button? I'll hit this for you.
That looks easy.
All right, I hope you guys are killing it in this market, and if you're not, just understand it is okay. If you are surviving, you're doing a great job. This market has been absolute chaos since President Trump has became the president, and I think it's probably going to continue being like that until it's not, and you just have to roll with the punches here. So do what you got to do, and with that being said, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.